Chapter 11, Cybercrime and IT Security. This is section 1 of 4, Managers and IT Security. The learning outcomes include: explore some of the reasons that you need to understand IT security no matter what area of the business is your specialty. Determine how managers allocate scarce resources to IT security. List and describe several reasons that computer incidents have become more widespread. Evaluate potential threats to the information assets of the organization. Why do managers outside of the IS unit need to understand information systems and security? IT people handle security, right? Well, kind of. Let's look at what Bill Gates had to say about security over time. First, he said, "Security is, I would say, our top priority, because for all the exciting things you will be able to do with computers, organizing your life, staying in touch with people, being creative, if we don't solve these security problems, then people will hold back." He clearly recognized the importance of securing data if he wanted to sell products to people and businesses. And of course he wanted to do that. Recognizing the problems of protecting the personal and/or professional information assets, however, he conceded, if you can't make it good, at least make it look good. The point is, your customers depend on you to secure their data, whether it's financial data, educational data, healthcare data, marketing data, etc. Securing the information assets of the organization is critical to all business units. IT people understand technology, but you may have to educate them about the important information assets that you keep. That means that everybody has to be responsible for and participate in activities to secure the organization's information assets. Cyber threats continue to mount, and they won't be going down anytime soon. As soon as new patches are created, different threats emerge. It's a cat and mouse game. Malware is an umbrella term for many of the threats your organization may face, including viruses, Trojans or Trojan horses, rootkits, spyware, crimeware, and adware. Malware is not good for your computer. An organization may be silently infected with malware, which can collect data over time without notice to the user. It has become increasingly difficult for antivirus software to detect and eliminate malware threats. Firewalls and antivirus and anti-malware products help protect against the potentially damaging effects of malware. However, we must trust our virus company, which must have access to every file used by our employees. This is where Kaspersky recently got into a little trouble. As reported by The Verge on October 25, 2017, Kaspersky, an antivirus company, accessed NSA classified files and sent them to Russia. Obviously, the U.S. government was unhappy to learn about this, and Kaspersky's reputation suffered. Kaspersky explained that an NSA contractor who was running a pirated version of Microsoft Office accessed classified documents on his personal computer. Yes, the contractor copied classified files from the server to his personal laptop. People do stupid things. Kaspersky's software found the malware and sent it back to Russia, where Kaspersky is based, for further investigation. This is not unusual for the virus industry if it finds suspicious material, including pirated software, classified documents being where they should not be, etc. What really makes the story interesting is that the U.S. did not know about the classified documents until Israel told us. That's right, Israel was rummaging around inside Kaspersky and came across concerning information that they passed along to the U.S. The explanation sounds plausible, but Kaspersky has taken a big hit. If you are unsure if you can trust your antivirus company, who can you trust? And should countries keep antivirus software in country? Is it any more likely that a home country antivirus software company would, on purpose or accidentally, fail to protect you from loss of data? We are all familiar with the term hacking, but what does it mean? When the news says that our election was hacked, do they mean the same thing? Merriam-Webster defines hacking as to gain illegal access to a computer network, system, etc. With that definition, perhaps the election was hacked. A group certainly broke into Podesta's computer system and retrieved his personal and professional messages without his approval, releasing the messages on WikiLeaks in timed intervals during the 2016 presidential election. However, there is no evidence that votes were changed in individual e-voting machines in any of the states. Hacks are undertaken by hackers who may alter system or security features to accomplish a goal that differs from the original purpose of the system. These definitions come from Technopedia. By these definitions, the 2016 election could be defined as being hacked, but not as far as individual e-voting systems or widespread voter fraud. There is no evidence that fraudulent voting occurred. Experts do recommend that states create a paper trail backup to audit results, although there is no agreement on when or if results should be audited. Internet voting has its own issues with verification of user identification and is not seen as a valid option at this time. That may change in the future. While experts have demonstrated the ability to crack e-voting machines, there is no evidence that any voter-related machines have ever been compromised. The results of the 2016 presidential election, like them or not, probably reflect the will of lawful U.S. voters. Was the election affected by Russian attempts to meddle in the election? Maybe. There is no doubt that Russia did its best to stir up tensions, again on both sides. Do we meddle in Russia's election? How about our allies? I'll let you think about those questions. As a manager within any business unit, you attempt to assess threats and reduce the impact if they do occur. And attacks will occur. As this graphic shows, 81% of large companies in the UK reported one or more breaches. I contend that the other 19% likely suffered a breach but were unaware of it. To minimize the impact of potential threats, an organization may invest in multiple strategies. User education provides an ongoing, consistent message for how technology is used to support organizational objectives. Users must be reminded periodically of their responsibilities as IT users, and individual units need to stress the importance of using technology wisely and with proper security mechanisms in place. Antivirus and anti-malware software provides one mechanism of keeping hackers out of your system, but there are many others. Monitoring of employees may be necessary to determine when or where viruses have penetrated the network security, as well as to ensure that users are not visiting inappropriate websites that are harassing to other employees. Ensuring that passwords are strong and that they are changed with some regularity provides protection at the individual level. Not sharing passwords with others or writing them down should be an integral part of user education. And when someone leaves the organization, their credentials should be deactivated and they should be escorted out of the building as a matter of policy, regardless of the reason for their departure. For the IT unit, patch management is necessary. Maintaining and updating patches is a full-time job for one or many people in an organization. Most companies do not update patches as frequently as they should, however. After considering all of these factors, the organization has to decide the amount to be spent to safeguard against computer crime. You cannot protect all of these threats, but all threats don't have the same probability and impact. Through a reasoned discussion among all the units in the organization, you must determine how to protect the information assets of your company. For instance, you need to try to keep the network up and running if you count on online orders, and who doesn't. You can determine how much sales might be lost based on network downtime and spend money in line with the impact and the likelihood of a threat materializing. The organization also must clearly outline how they will respond when they are the victim of a computer crime or a hack. Why is it so difficult for the organization to secure the information assets? One of the reasons is the BYOD, Bring Your Own Device policy, adopted by many organizations, schools, universities, and government agencies. How many devices do you have with you right now? How many of those devices are logged into the network? If one of those devices has a virus, it may impact the entire network, and the IT personnel may not even know that you brought this technology into the building. How can they protect what they don't manage and may not even be aware of? The BYOD policy certainly increases the complexity of computer environments. Users, however, expect to be able to use their phone to check email while they're walking down to the break room, and to be able to log in from home and from the baseball field, for me. All of these technology products, which aren't often regulated by the internal IT unit, add significant complexity to the challenge of securing the information assets of an organization. As new systems are added and multiple workers with different operating systems have to be managed, the complexity increases even more. Home automation and links to the network, along with the Internet of Things, further complicate the ability of IT to secure the information assets of the organization. As organizations continue to rely on software with known vulnerabilities, adding macroviruses in Office software, for instance, and as hackers are better educated on how to capitalize on these vulnerabilities, IT must continue to use updated tools to keep the organization safe. It's amusing when you think about it. Assuming that your organization is not IT focused, like Microsoft or Apple or Google, you may not think much about the underlying technology that you use until the system goes down, or your computer crashes, or customer billing isn't processed correctly, or manufacturing goes down while technology is repaired. Investing in IT security up front is much less costly than trying to recover from an attack after the fact. To summarize, managers and IT experts have a shared responsibility for data and information security. The organization must determine how much they are willing to spend to overcome potential risks. Threats to the information assets continue to grow. This is particularly true as we move toward the Internet of Things. Organizations should develop a security policy to overcome known and anticipated threats.